Hi, my name is Hugh O'Donnell and I run Hughie's bar here in Killybegs in County Donegal. For those of you who don't know, Killybegs is a little fishing port in the southwest of Donegal, and it's claimed to be the biggest fishing port in the country with regards to landings. We're basically a pelagic town in that we fish for oily fish like herring and mackerel, and we have a very small whitefish sector, but it's a thriving little sector at the same time, and that's your monkfish and your haddock and your hake and squid and that type of fish. Um, it's a very rich town in history and heritage and natural beauty. It's a town that's built around its harbour, and the main church is a Roman Catholic church that was designed by Papworth from London and was just due to open at the start of the Irish famine. So it's gone, the plans couldn't be completed at the time because of the misery and poverty that people found themselves in at the time, but it eventually was recently refurbished to its original glamour and design as designed by Papworth. So the church itself now is becoming a great magnet, attracting outside weddings from Dublin, Belfast, America, and they're deciding, because of the beauty of the church and the restoration, that it's a fabulous attraction in itself. The patron saint of the town is called St. Catherine of Alexandria, which was a Coptic Christian from Egypt who is believed fled because of persecution. The Coptic Christians made their way to the west coast of Ireland and settled between Dingle and Killybegs, and one of their shrines were here in Killybegs, and they developed a well in her honour because she got them safely away from the turmoil and persecution that they were undergoing in Egypt at the time. It's a very unusual town in the sense that we have a Coptic Christian as our patron saint, and but it's a really attractive well. People go to it. It's very well maintained, and people travel from far and near to visit it and put in requests, meditate, whatever, what's to say is mindfulness is a great place for doing it at the moment. We're also en route to Slieve League, which is the highest sea cliffs in Europe, and it's also one of the iconic attractions of the Wild Atlantic Way. But before the Wild Atlantic Way ever became a brand, the Slieve League was well up there as an attraction because most people came to visit the Cliffs of Moher the day before, then Slieve League, and then the following day they would head up to the Giant's Causeway in County Antrim. So it's for those lovers of seascapes and iconic kind of sea stacks. This is the kind of the mother of attractions, because it's a beautiful attraction in itself. You can drive up to it and park and have a good view of it. You can decide to do the one-man path walk if you like. But a lot of people now are choosing to do it by sea, and they go into Teelan and they get aboard the Nuala Star, or lately we have a new addition in Killybegs. We have a lovely vessel called the Pirate Queen, and that does a trip which takes 3 hours and 2 hours when you do it from Teelan and back. But the first time you see the cliffs from the sea, it's an absolutely beautiful experience. They look like cathedral columns coming out of the sea, heading up towards the skies. And it's just absolutely one of those kind of real spiritual moments you'll savour in life. We have a very successful food story going on in the town, and I suppose it's because of the proximity with the fishing industry, or to the fishing industry and our association with it. But we have a lot of seafood restaurants during the day. We have some really nice coffee shops. We have Ahoy, we have Fusion, we have Mrs. B's, and they're very holistic in their approach, in that they do all home baking, and there's very little bought-in product coming into the town. We've recently got involved in an urban regeneration scheme of the town, where we've embarked on a very attractive painting of buildings along the main street. So it's really becoming like the Dingle of the Northwest. Also under this scheme we have initiated the development of a local craft shop called the Wild Atlantic Way Craft Shop, and it's been very successful, and it involved bringing together maybe 15 local artisan producers who produce beautiful products. And it's an unusual shop in the sense that it's not your normal run-of-the-mill type of craft you might see going along the route, along the countryside. This is really bespoke and boutique and local to the area. We also encouraged 2 local entrepreneurial fish factory owners to take on board a recently vacated butcher shop, and they've decided now they moved into it, and it's called Atlantic Treasures. And it's really a most beautiful fish shop, and for Killybegs it does really tribute to the local produce because it's on display. It's lobster tank, and it's crabs, and it's scallops, and it's all the types of fish that are fished off the coast of Ireland. So it's a must-see attraction as well. We've also a very successful little sea shack down at the pier, and that's got a lot of critical acclaim recently, and it's been featured in the top 10 best fish and chips in Ireland. And we also on the main street we have Melly's Cafe, which is a fantastic experience, and they've been there for at least 60 years now. And the owner is quite a character. His name's Michael Melly, and he plays the guitar, and he gets his friends together like the Clancy brothers, and they sit in there, and we call it the Singing Cafe, and they featured as a top bill attraction in our local festival this year. It's a good town for bars, and for the size of the town we have 2 fantastic hotels. We've got the Bayview and the Tara. We've got the Ritz, which is more a budget accommodation but a really high standard budget accommodation, and then we have some really good B&Bs as well in the area. We have a fantastic motorhome park overlooking the local lighthouse as you enter the harbour, and then we have a beautiful blue flag beach called Fintra Beach, which is about 3 miles from the town. As well as that, we're just on the route into Slieve League, where you go through the towns of Carrick, Kilcar, Teelan, and we're in the close proximity to Ardra, all of them boasting a really good tweed industry. Not huge on a huge scale, but on a very small scale, but you're talking about artisan producers again. And I always think that the place should be really branded as the Tweed Valley, because the association with wool and what they do with it. For example, in Kilcar, they produce every airplane you'll ever sit in life has got their carpets, and the back of the seats have been done in Kilcar, and that's on one scale. And then you go into another scale where there's wools being produced for designers, and all the design houses from Milan to New York, San Francisco, Montreal, they're getting their wools from Kilcara Yarns in Kilcar, which is a big success story. So, as I say, the area is very bespoke. It's beautiful scenery. It's dotted with little fishing boats and little fishing ports. Killybegs is the biggest of the fishing ports, but it's on a very commercial scale because we're fishing off Norway and bringing the fish down, and a lot of our fish goes directly out to Barcelona markets within 2 days. So it's a thriving town. It's got a lot of employment, and it's got some really nice iconic buildings. And just to finish off, the inventor of the harpoon, Nesbitt, is buried in the old graveyard in Killybegs, so that's a little claim to fame that we have. So if you're visiting the town, make sure you do your research and see what you would like to do in advance. The best thing I would suggest is go into discoverkillybegs.com, which is a brilliant new vibrant site that we've developed, and it'll give you great tips and suggestions and addresses and names and contacts. So I hope after all this that you decided you're going to visit Killybegs, if not for the fishing, definitely for the wool experience, if not for that, for a food experience, because we excel in all of those sections. And be sure, if you may not be able to catch a whale with Nesbitt's harpoon, you definitely can catch a fish in the local fish shop and bring it down to us, and we'll cook it for you.